Good morning. We'll give everyone a couple minutes to get on, get ready. Sorry, I'm just going to get this set up here. Good. Hope your day is starting well for a Tuesday. So, good morning, everyone. Sorry, please forgive the bounciness. Good morning, Susan and John. Just trying to keep the cat participation as minimal as possible this morning. So, as usual, some blocks, if you have them, definitely not required. And then a mat and a blanket if you know you like a little extra cushion. And we'll get started in just a few moments. Today, our practice, I entitled it Cultivate Strength. And I did that because the balance, there's a balance there, right? So flexibility and stability. And so I just thought to take this opportunity to focus on strengthening the parts of our body. I guess you could call it the core, but the muscles that support our spine. And just noticing how that feels when we can support our own body, and the feeling of confidence and the feeling of power that you can also grow when you know that you can support yourself, and that strength is within us to support, literally and figuratively, we can support ourselves. That strength is within us. So find your mat, find a comfortable seat, and let's check in. Okay, so we'll sit on our mat. Maybe you have a blanket under your hips. Maybe you're seated up on a block. Just take a couple deep breaths. Just check in. Just drop the pin. For the next few minutes, we're going to be here. And then we get on with the rest of our day. So sit quietly, noticing the sits bones on the earth. Give your legs some weight, so let them feel heavy. And if you're familiar, if Ujjayi breath is in your practice, maybe start to bring it in here, using that ocean sound, that breath sound, as a tool to help anchor the mind in this moment right now. And just as part of our practice today, maybe take your hands to right above your navel, that area of your belly, right above your navel. And just take your breath into your hands and notice how, as you inhale, your belly expands, how you exhale, the belly softens. So just take a few moments, feeling your belly rise and fall. And now slowly from here, with this attention, make your way to your back. Coming to a reclined position. Bring the soles of your feet together, let the knees fall wide. And then find that position with your hands again on your lower belly. With the inhale, the belly rises. And the exhale, the belly softens. Maybe still utilizing that Ujjayi breath. Soft restriction in the back of the neck, creating an ocean sound. Excellent. Take the hands to the outside of the knees, guide your knees together, bring the soles of your feet to the mat. And then lift your knees up, bringing the knees directly over the hips. And be careful with the low back here. So we want to make sure that we're utilizing muscles in the appropriate way. And so one way to do that is to draw your belly button towards your spine. And you may find that that brings your lower back more flush to the mat. And so we do this so that when we move into these following movements or postures, that we're utilizing muscles in the correct way so that we're not putting ourselves at risk for injury. So arms can be down at your side, palms down. Maybe you find it comfortable to pillow the head with the hands and letting the elbows go wide. What we're going to do here, you may have already noticed that your abs have kind of turned on a little bit. Your core has turned on, your center strength. And so right here, we're already cultivating strength. So stay here if this is kind of feeling really good. Or from here, drop one toe down, keeping the knee bent and bringing it back up. So we're just doing little toe dips, taking it to the other side. Really slowly, respecting the low back. Just checking in with those muscles of the lower belly. Breathing. Even it out here. Excellent. Then drop the feet to the mat. Bring the big soles to touch. Let the knees fall wide. Take your hands to the belly and just give the belly a little rub. No tricks today, okay? And then maybe press the palms of your hands into the front of your hips, the hip flexors, just to kind of help release. Breathing. Excellent. Take the hands to the knees. Bring the knees back together. Bring the knees up again. The low back flush with the mat. Knees over hips. And we're going to move into yogi bicycles. So this might be familiar to many of us, the crunching and kind of getting to it. But I would encourage our mindset maybe to shift a little bit. And so moving respectfully to our bodies and really just with the intention of lighting a little fire in the belly, activating these muscles, noticing that if we can encourage strength here, that serves us in other ways that help support our back and our spine. So hands behind the head, pillowing the back of the head, belly button drawn in towards the spine. And again, you notice that doing that may bring the low back to the mat. So we're really isolating the muscles of the front part of the core here. Extend your right leg out. Foot can be flexed or pointed, whichever feels good. And then you're going to lift your head, neck, and chest and bring the right shoulder towards the left knee. And then switch. And switch. Go at your own pace here. You can definitely keep the foot, the extended leg a little higher. Great option here. You can actually always keep the feet on the mat and then just lift the knee. So a lot of options here. Whatever works best for you today, just keep breathing as you go at your own pace. You can also extend your arms to the outside of the knee that's lifted. And it's not about reps. It's not about six-pack-ness. What it's about is attention, breath, just a few more here, and noticing that this is a full body experience. It's not just the core, it's everything. The core connects to everything, just like the breath connects to everything, the legs, the feet. And one more round here. Even it out wherever you are. Excellent. And once again, bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees go wide. Maybe give your belly a little rub. Maybe bring your hands right to that space above the navel. And just breathe. Excellent. Take your hands to the sides of your knees once more. Bring the knees together. Roll to one side, and let's come to a seated position. So feet on the mat, knees bent. Straightening up from your sits bones, head over heart, heart over pelvis, one long, beautiful line here. And we're just going to move into a little boat variation. So from this position here, draw the belly button towards the spine as we lean back ever so slightly. You can hook your hands behind your thighs, walk your feet back, and you might feel your abs turn on. If this is awesome right here, then stay here. Maybe lift your feet. You can still hook on to the back of your thighs. Breathe. Maybe extend your palms. Extend your arms, breathing. And we're here for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Cross the ankles. Take a deep breath and move to your table position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And take a few seconds here to move into a little cat-cow. Maybe take it off the railroad tracks just a little bit. Feeling into the shoulders, into the hips, into the low back. Noticing how it feels today. Excellent. And then from your table, we'll move into a hovering table. And you can do this one of two ways. You can keep the tops of your feet on the mat and you can lift the knees from there, or you can curl your toes under and then just lift the knees about an inch or two off the mat and hover there. So it does not matter which one you choose. What I would tell you is make sure that you've pressed away from the yoga mat. So we're kind of also bringing in that stabilization from the upper back muscles as well, because believe it or not, that is also part of the core stabilization. The muscles of the upper back, the buttocks, okay? All part of it. Full body experience here. So pressing into the yoga mat, and then either keep the tops of your feet on the mat or curl your toes under. Engage the tummy muscles and lift the knees just a few inches off the mat. Breathing. We're just here for a few seconds. Breathing. Maybe a little shake. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Bring the big toes to touch. Take the knees as wide as the yoga mat and sink the hips back towards the heels. Reach the fingertips forward and drop the forehead. Breathe. Pressing into the palms, rising back up to table. Square yourself again, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Moving into table balance or bird dog. So we'll start extending the left leg. Curl the back toes under. Maybe give yourself a little sawing back and forth. And then as you're ready, lift your foot. We're really just going about hip height here. Keeping the hips square. So if you find your hip opening up like this, hug that left hip in. So imagine both your hip points are pointing down towards the mat. Okay? And then stay here. If you feel this is enough, that is awesome. Breathe here. If you want to take another step, extend the right arm out. Thumb up, pinky down. So imagine that you're shaking someone's hand. Long neck, gaze down at your mat, breathing. Building some heat here. Inhale and exhale as you bring everything back down. Maybe drop the hips back to child's pose for just a minute. Coming back up to table. Okay, moving to the other side. Extend the right foot out, curl the toes under. Saw back and forth, wake up that calf. All right. And then lift the back leg. You might notice that, okay, hamstring muscles, good morning. Glute muscles, good morning. Back muscles, tummy muscles. It's all connected. Excellent. If it feels right, extend your left arm out. Thumb up, pinky down. You're shaking someone's hand. Long neck. Gaze down, extending through the crown, breathing here. 3, 2, 1, and release it back down. Take the big toes to touch. The knees as wide as the yoga mat. Pressing into the left palm, extend the right hand up And on the exhale, take the right hand under the bridge of the left arm and bring the right shoulder and ear to the mat. You can keep your left hand as a base. You can extend it up. You can bring it to the small of the back. Whatever feels right for you. Breathing into the low back, whatever that means to you. Maybe that's just bringing your attention to the muscles of the low back. Feeling the skin of the low back stretch as you inhale. Excellent. Inhale back to table, keeping the knees exactly where they are. So wide knees, big toes to touch, wrists back under the shoulders. Inhale the left hand up and exhale it under the bridge of the right arm. Breathing. Excellent. Inhale back to table. Wrists under the shoulders. Take the knees back under the hips. Curl the toes under and lift the hips to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet or maybe find stillness. You know what your body needs right now. So if that's a little movement in your downward dog, go for it. If that is just a little quiet, then go ahead and be still. As you're ready, take baby steps, crossing one foot over the other, making your way to the front of your mat to a forward fold. Feet can be hip distance apart or flush together. Knees bent as generously as you like. Breathing here. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Take the hands to the knees and press all the way up. Extend the arms out. Palms come together. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Step your right foot back at about a 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit less. So the right toes pointing kind of towards the front right corner of the mat, moving into warrior one. Front knee bent. Arms up overhead. Excellent. Breathing. Now open up to warrior two. You might need to adjust your stance. Pressing into the knife edge of that back foot. Front knee tracking towards the pinky toe. Breathing. Excellent. Take it to extended side angle, your version. And so this would be a nice option if you have your block nearby. You can take your block at any height, take it to the inside of your front foot, and use that to bring the earth to you, extending the top arm over the head. Excellent. Now listen carefully here. We're taking the top arm and we're swinging it around in front of us as we straighten the front leg and move into triangle. Okay? So swinging that front arm down around the front of us and bringing it back up. And your lower hand is right where you need it to be, right? Breathing here. Excellent. Swinging the top hand down as you bend the front knee again. Just move that block to the side. You find yourself in a lunge. Excellent. And now give a little buoyancy to your back knee. Give yourself a little rock, and then step your back foot up to meet the front. And we're back to where we started. Feet hip distance apart or flush together. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release it. And press all the way up to a standing position, hands up overhead. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take it to the other side. Step the left foot back. A medium distance, I would say. Left toes point towards the front corner of the mat. Front toes pointing forward, bend through the front knee. In your warrior one, arms up overhead. So waking up the lower body here. And exhale into warrior two. Maybe adjust your stance. Take your feet a little wider. Front knee tracking towards the pinky toe. Reaching out through the hands. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. So just notice if you're kind of leaning forward. Excellent. Take it to extended side angle. Find your block if you like that. Reaching the top arm up and over the head, one long line from the tip of your left fingers all the way to the left heel, pressing into the outer edge of your foot. And then remember this transition. Top hand swings around the front of us as we straighten the front knee. And there we are in our triangle pose. Gaze can be down at your hand, straight in front of you, or take it up to your top hand. Breathing here. Excellent. Top hand comes down to meet the opposite hand. Move the block out of the way and come into your low lunge. Excellent. Now, drop the back knee or keep the back knee lifted here. This is totally what feels best in your body today. Plant your palms. Bring the front foot back to meet the other. We are in plank or knees lowered half plank. Just for a few seconds here. Remember, press away from your yoga mat. Spiking through your heels if your legs are extended. Maybe shifting back and forth if your knees are on the earth. Breathing. 3, 2, 1. And wherever you are, we'll keep that elbows hugged in towards the chest and lower all the way down. Pillow the forehead with the palms, the hands. So just stack your hands, rest your forehead down onto your hands, bring your toes inward, let your heels fall out, and just shake your hips left and right. But while you breathe, just kind of shake everything out. Excellent. Now, from this position, just flip the burger, okay? Just turn it right over to a flat back. Hug the knees into the chest. Maybe give a little rock, left and right. Extend the arms out, shoulder height into a T position. And let both knees fall to one side, any side. Take a breath down into your belly. On an inhale, bring the knees back to center. And exhale the knees to the other side. On an inhale, bring the knees back to center. Give yourself one more hug. Be rotating a little bit just to massage the lower back. And then make your way to a seated position, rolling to one side and back to a comfortable seat. Notice the length of the spine. Notice any heat that you might have created in your body. Notice how you feel. Bring your hands to heart center. From my heart to yours, hope you have a great rest of the day. See you tomorrow.